Told me you was leaving, I didn't believe you. Oh, nah, nah. Now you're no longer here when I need you. Ran you away, now another woman's pleasing you. And that's how it is when you take a good man for granted.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the NWA Connie Corsos show where we talk all things dogs. Soon as you come in, like the video, share it, and please subscribe. Today we have a good friend, Dejan. He's a pet transporter. And how you doing, brother?
Good, brother. As I told you, I just came to Florida to drop off some dogs, and I'm going to be staying here for a couple of days. Then I go back to Serbia.
Okay, all right. So let's just start from the beginning, man. Where are you originally from, and when did you get involved? What is your oldest recollection of falling in love with dogs and things like that?
Yeah. So, brother, it was like, let's say, 16 years ago. Actually, it was 2009. I had no experience in kinology, no experience in dogs. I was working as a chef in restaurant as a really young, and I got an offer back at that time from a friend of mine to go and get two dogs to Egypt. My first question was like, okay, what is inside of that dogs? What's going on? Why these dogs are traveling in Egypt? It's some kind of scam, or why are people buying dogs from Serbia and Egypt? It was 2009. And he said, no, brother, like, it's a good thing. You speak, very well English. So you can go there. You can go speak with them. You just have to go pick them up. We're going to drop you off to the airport. You're going to go from Belgrade to with Alitalia. You're going to go to Rome. And from Rome, you're going to go to Cairo. There's one gentleman that's going to wait for you. He's a client of ours. He got the two dogs. They're big dogs. They're going to be bred and so and so. And I said, okay, so what's the deal? Back at the time, my monthly salary was like 390 to 400 euros, which is, let us say, 440 US dollars a month. And the offer which I got to send these dogs was 200, that's going to stay in my pocket. I just have to go to Cairo airport and I have to drop off these dogs. We're going to go and have like a dinner or drinks with this, person. He's going to let me stay, with him for a couple of hours. And then the next flight, which goes from Cairo to Rome and from Rome to Belgrade, is in like 4 or 5 hours. So I don't have any much time to stay there. I'm just gonna do it. It's basically like 24 hours. I'm getting like a half of my salary, which I'm earning at that point in Serbia. So I said, okay, why not? Let me go and let's see what's going on with that. I just asked a friend of mine to cover my shift back at a restaurant, and I was like, okay, let's go and see what's going on. They told me everything is trustable, bro. Nothing shady. It just this guy's it's getting a dogs. I don't know why, but he's not able to come and pick them up. Later I'm gonna tell you why he was not able to come and pick it up. So I went to the Belgrade airport. There was a two Rottweilers that was going with me. One was from Futogline Kennel, and the other dog was from One House Romano. I went to the airport. These, friends from my friend helped me out to get them on board. This is the first time that I see dog in a crate and everything, like he's traveling inside the airplane. They told me you don't have to do anything in the between time, in transiting time. You just go and catch your flight to Cairo, and that's it. Flight from Belgrade to Rome is like 1 hour and 30 minutes. And then connection time was 2 hours, and flight from Rome to Cairo was 3 hours. I said, okay, not bad. I'm just gonna go and have a couple of drinks, buy some food, and then I'm on the way back to Cairo. So when I came to the Cairo airport, this was the first time that I was actually flying with an airplane. Everything was excited. I was full of energy, full of everything. When I land in Cairo airport, I saw the dogs that they are coming from the oversized, and I was like, okay, I'm still inside. I see the glass door, and there's like, an arms officers, the soldiers, and there was a one guy that he was like in flip flops, he was in jeans and everything, and he was just coming inside, giving the tips to the guy with like the guys with the gun, the soldiers. He was putting everybody's money in the pocket, and he was basically coming inside of the airport, which is not allowed because this is still not Egyptian field. So you to come inside of the airport is not possible. So he was like, came and he was shake with me, and he said, "Hey, Dan, I'm Bondi. I'm the guy who's supposed to get a dog from you." He was really polite, really nice. We went and, we had a dinner. And then he told me, after he spoke with me, "Okay, nice. These dogs are really nice, so and so." And he said, "Are you able to come like in maybe 2 weeks if I have another dogs?" I said, "Yeah, why not? If everything goes okay right now, if I come back, nothing happened, I'm gonna be fine with that, no problem. It was a good money for me."
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weeks after I came, but the dogs was not from these guys. It was like one was from the Putog line again, and the other was from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I started. This is how actually I started to go and travel. We just changed the numbers. He was chatting me, and everything was okay in the beginning. And then just, from time to time, he was not able to come on the airport. There was the clients who was waiting the dogs, and he was waiting with the payments. One time he pays, the next time he don't pay. And then, just things starting to happen between me and him. I was thinking that I'm working for him for like, let it say 6-7 months. And then sometimes like he called me and say, "Hey, Dan, I'm not able to pay the ticket. Can you just go and pay the ticket?" In the beginning, he was dealing with an airlines. He was dealing with the reservations, with everything. I didn't have anything, any part of that. Everything was like, on his side. And my business was just to come to the airport, meet the clients, put the dogs inside of the crate, and travel to Egypt. Bring them over,
Sure.
clients or he pick up the dogs. I take them and I leave them, and I go back. This was only thing what I was doing for like 5 or 6 months. And then, he just started to say, "Hey, Dan, I'm not able to transfer you the money for the ticket. Can you go?" Because the ticket was purchasing in Serbia. With some
Yeah.
reason, he was not able to get the tickets in Egypt. So he was sending money to me in Serbia. I paid the ticket in Belgrade. And then with that time, we was using the Alitalia airline. So uh "Hey, then I'm in trouble. I cannot pay this ticket. When you come, I'm going to give you the money." A ticket was like 600, 700. My salary was 200. And then, I come at the airport. He say, "Okay, this is your salary. I'm going to give you the money for the ticket next time, so and so," which I didn't like. I telling
Yeah.
you, "Okay, we cannot. We have to have the agreements. We have to have deal between me and you. If you say, 'Dan, I don't have money. Pay instead of me,' I'm going to do that. That's no problem. Tell me, okay, I'm going to have money by the next week or like 2 weeks after. It's not a big deal."
Mm-hmm.
This began to happen really often. And, at one point, I just told him, "Bondi, I don't want to have any of these relations between, and everything. I'm just leaving you. You do whatever you have on your own. And that's, I don't like how you deal with the breeders. I don't like how you deal with me. And, this is just not going to happen anymore. I'm not going to fly." Like he said, "Okay, I respect that." He was always having some excuses like, a car accident, something, some kind. And I said, "Okay, I understand, but we're not gonna continue any of business together."
Right.
I was in Serbia for a couple of weeks, and then I got a phone call from a person that is calling Weil Ahmed Abu Hussein. He just sent me the message. "Hello, Dan. This is Mr. Weil here. When are you able to come and bring me the dogs to Cairo? And I want to do the calculations between me and you for the past 6 months that you was working for me." And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, I don't understand." And I called a friend who, actually was the first one that got me the dogs and everything. He said, "Okay, this gentleman is actually the boss of everything. He was actually basically the work for him, and Bondi, is like probably his worker. Go to Cairo, bring him the dogs, and see what's going on." At that time, I had like a one book that I was, writing all the expenses, food, what I spent on the airport, how much paid for the boxes, how much I paid for the ticket and everything. And I had everything written down. So when I came to Cairo, there was like his few of his workers with a nice car waiting for me on the airport. They pick up the dogs. They drove me all the way to the hotel, and this is like I was 20 years old at that time. So
Okay.
this was everything new to me. The next morning, they drove me to his office. He had a big facility, with a lot of workers. He was a really good businessman. His hobby was dog, and he was buying really expensive dogs at that time. So he said to me, Dan, hello, my name is Mr. Wael Ahmed Abou Hussein. Basically, for all this time, he was working for me. And Bondi is a son of my partner that is installing the pools inside of the villas that we are making. Wael was an owner of the company that is making villas in Cairo, like the compounds. Like his business is like the construct like 100 villas and then they're selling it. He was a millionaire at that time, even right now. So he told me, can you see what are the calculations between me and you? And I said, I never knew that I was working with you, but this is the story, with the calculations and everything. When he opened, he found out that Bondi was stealing a lot of money from him. And he was like pissed off and everything. He called his, partner. They called him. They, got in fight and everything. So after this meeting with Mr. Weil, I was offered from him to have am I able to continue to send dogs? We're gonna open a Facebook account. At that time, I didn't have Facebook account. Facebook was something new, and I said, okay, yeah. What is the deal? The deal was between me and Weil that I'm gonna have from 0 to 4 flights to Cairo, to Egypt, to send dogs, and my monthly salary is gonna be 500 US dollars or 500 euros. So, and every flight after the 4th flight is going to be paid 100 euros extra. And again, let's go back. I was working for like, let it say 400. And right now with the flights that I have from the Bondi in the past, I had, let it say 6 to 7 flights a month to Egypt. So this is the time when everything started to go, much serious than I had with the Bondi. And we had 10, 11 flights. He opened the Facebook account. He starting at the Egyptian breeders at the time. And my business was to add the breeders from Serbia. So we created a unique Facebook account that contains only the breeders. No family members, no, some kind of other people, only the breeders. And that was the deal. And the deal between me and him was like, he said, okay, Dan, I'm really rich and not a lot, I know a lot of breeders from Egypt like me because of that. I buy expensive dogs. So just let's pretend that we are not working together, that you don't work with me because it can affect our business. And I said, okay, no problem, let's do that. I'm going to be individual. And he said, of course, if you have any troubles, any problems with anybody, that anybody wants to have late payments, just let me know. Money's not a problem. And I saw that through the business with him. I saw he was really respectable and he was really, really good. So for the next 3 years, we established really, really good business. Most of the dogs that have been traveling from Serbia to Egypt was the German Shepherds, was Rottweilers, Corsos. Egyptians like big dogs. They like huge dogs, like big cats and everything. I don't know why, but they like it. I remember at the time, German Shepherds, long hair was not allowed to compete on any shows. But with some reason, Egyptian breeders, Egyptian people like long hair, dark long hair dogs, German Shepherds. And when they starting to buy them, Serbian breeder was like, okay, that sucks. I got like 4 or 5 puppies and 3 are long hair. They be giving them as a gift because they cannot compete. It was not allowed to be competing with a long haired, nowhere in the world. But after they starting to buy them really cheap and sell them really good, from time to time, they become really beautiful dogs. And right now you can compete even with the long haired German Shepherds everywhere in the world. So for the next 3 years, we had amazing business. But then Mr. Weil became super busy He was not able to transport dogs anymore with me. It was, huge businesses that he was making. And he said, like, Dan, unfortunately, I'm not able to give you, any more support, anything. You just have to be on your own. I'm going to give you, I'm going to cover your back in case of any problem in anything. It's just, you have to do it on your own. So that was like 2000, let us say 2013. I'm becoming a freelancer that
Mhm.
transporting dogs, but with the numbers of tickets that I'm having and the numbers of dogs that I'm transporting to Egypt at 2013, I'm not able to do it anymore. It was like sometimes I didn't even know where I'm waking up. Am I in Serbia? Am I in Egypt? I remember one time I've been there 16 times. So that's
Wow.
like every time I go there, it's 4 flights: Belgrade, Rome, Rome, Cairo, and then Cairo, Rome, Rome, Belgrade. That's 4 flights. So 4 flights at one time, and I having like 16 times I was in Egypt. With 23 years old, I'm having a lot of money in my pocket and going to Alitalia office. That was the airline that we are, using all the time, only one airline, and like buying a tickets in advance. Because, for example, you had one flight a day to Rome, and then from Rome to Cairo. And I know in advance I'm gonna sell all the spots because you can take 2 crates with you. In 2 crates, exceptional number of dogs. And I'm coming like 1st January, and I'm buying 20 tickets, and maybe from that 20 tickets I have only 3 sold, and I'm 100% sure that I'm going to sell all the spots, because if I don't take it, some other transporter is going to take the spot, and you're not going to be able to get the dogs, especially when it goes to pregnant females, when it goes to something. So
Right.
at 2013, there's a few transporters that are coming into a business. Most of them are the breeders that sold the dogs to Egyptian clients, and then because they didn't want to pay the fee for the shipping, they said, "Okay, come and meet me. Bring me the dog that I got from you. Just come and meet me. I'm going to cover you the expenses," which was a
Mhm.
little bit less than what we charge at the moment. And so I was wondering at that time why Egyptians didn't come on their own and get the dogs. Everything happens with some reason, because at the Egypt political party there was on government at that point had some kind of problems with the political party that was making the protest against President Slobodan Milosevic. It was the same. Basically, they just get them connected as like same group of people who got his president down. They made the same problems in Serbia. The few students, because of that. Uh, Egyptian government forbidden Egyptians to travel to Serbia. And with this
Oh,
reason, we
okay.
had open doors to go and fly with all otherwise they will come and they will fly to Serbia and get the dogs on their own. So you're not going to have out of business. So
Okay.
the breeders started to go in Egyptian market. There was like a lot of other guys that was transporting the dogs. The German Shepherd breeders, they becoming the transporters. The Rottweiler breeders, they becoming the transporters. So I had to hire a few of friends of mine that want to get extra money to fly with me. And then there was a time that I had an apartment with, like, let us say 24, 25 years old, that I've been, all at that time, they're renting in Cairo. So I had my driver in Cairo that I was paying off. I had the apartment rented. Um, when we started to do this kind of business, there was no customs at all. So you was able to come and get the dog in Egypt, no customs, nothing. You just show them the passport, you just show them the health certificate. There's some kind of vet who comes and check the dogs, and that's it. There was no rule about number of animals inside of the crate. Can you imagine how old is that? That's like,
Mm,
13, 14 years right now. Right now,
yeah.
there's strict rules about everything. Back there at the time, if the the workers on the airport who works for the airline say, okay, this is okay. They can still fit. They can still turn on. That turn around. That's okay. You can put 4 German Shepherd puppies inside of one crate, and you can
Yeah.
put another 4 inside of the other. Right
Mhm.
now, that's
They do
more
that.
than forbidden. So
Yeah.
then the vet doctors just come on the airport, check everything, and you're good to go. So I wanted to say I hired some of my friends to come and help me out with the shipping. The customs in Cairo on the beginning was $50, and then like maybe a few months after they put it like 100 per dog, then 150, then 200. I'm gonna compare you the prices of the dogs at that time, and then on the 2015 they made an agreement that the customs in Cairo is 500 per dog. A
Mhm.
good German Shepherd puppy at that time was like, let us say, 400, 500. So basically, 100% of the price of the dog, you have to pay the customs. And there was no playing, Before, sometimes when you come, they just, I don't know how to say that in English, but they're like, okay, can you reduce the price of the customs? He said, okay, I can do it this time. And he was like, they're making the agreement with the customs on airport, the Egyptian clients who was waiting the dogs.
Mhm.
And just one day they said, okay, it's 500 or 600, I don't remember right now, and everything stopped.
Right.
2015, I'm just out of everything. It's just just trying to find a solution. What will happen overnight? Somebody just shut down the light, and I'm without any business. So we found another airline that was flying to Hurghada, which is a city on the sea. It's a not so big airport. The flights was not from Belgrade. Flights was from Vienna, so we had an additional expenses. At that time, we used that's Austrian airline, and with Alitalia, we was able to bring 2 crates with side of dogs. With Austrian Airlines, we had to bring 3 dogs, 3 crates. But the thing is, because the Austria Vienna was like 600 kilometers, which is like 400 miles from us, so it was like, okay, we're gonna try and see if this is gonna work. First time I landed to Hurghada, everything was okay. And the connections between Cairo airport and Hurghada airport, the customs was not, there was no communication. So they still had like old news that the customs is 150 US dollars. And I had a driver who was coming from Cairo to Hurghada to wait for me. I bring the dogs, and then he delivered them to Cairo because Hurghada is a small place, small city. There's no a lot of breeders back there. The major happening was in Cairo, actually. So
Mhm. The people that
then,
work the people that work with you, they got to be on point, right? It can't be
yeah.
excuses and missing days, right? Yeah.
No, 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 no. Everything has to be on the phone. I mean, we planned the tickets. At that time, everything was really young. So we didn't have any families, we didn't have any like wives and kids. So we've
Right.
been really young, and it was easy, okay, just wake next morning and say, I have available ticket in 2 days. You're packing your stuff. Even, I had a situation when I'm finishing the lunch, my phone is ringing. Okay, you're going tonight. So this is the only spot. You have a pregnant female, which is 50 days old, 50 days pregnant. You have to go. There's no excuses. If you wait, a couple of more days, it's risky for her to fly. So, you're getting your new shoes and everything and go to the airport and fly to the airport. So this is the thing. What was happening for, let us say, a year. Then even they in Cairo said, okay, we're not allowed anymore to get the dogs imported with this price of the customs. There was no room for the profit. There was no room for anything, and I was without job back again. Just everything collapsed. And at that point, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do right now? So I was like checking the messages in my messenger one day, and I decided to see what market can be good for animal transporting dogs. What can cover Egypt? Egyptians was buying a lot of dogs. When I say I had one month 24 tickets, I mean seriously 24 tickets, 24 times a month to Egypt. That's a lot of
Wow.
dogs. Plus,
Love that.
besides me, there was like 5 or 6 transporters that was sending dogs to Cairo and to Egypt. So when I checked the messages on my Facebook account, I realized that most of the messages and most requests, but by that time was, Dan, can you get my dog to the United States? And I was wondering, like, how can I go to United States with all these documents? United States is, the top of everything. Egypt was, okay, you come, sometimes you forget the health certificate, sometimes you forget a passport. Everything was okay. Egyptian come, put the money in the pocket, everything is done, you go out. That's it. Send it with an email, do whatever. This is like, it was like, it was crazy. So the US had strict rules. Everybody was afraid. You have to have visa for United States. You have to be super clean to come there. Documents must be everything. And I said, I have to try. There was no transporter except one breeder who was flying that I saw, but there was no transporter that can send dogs with flying with them. There's a two-way of sending dogs. You have cargo agents and you have nanny transporters.
Mhm.
And I was
What's
like,
the
okay, there's.
difference in those two?
Can you say again?
What's the difference in the nanny and the cargo transporters?
Cargo transporter, they're the agents who works on the airport and then send you the dog, like you come to the airport and pick it up. They do the documents and everything. And the nanny transporters actually fly with the dogs. They are like his personal baggage.
On
And then
board.
they do the clearing the customs and everything and drop them off to the airport, or they drive and deliver them to the locations, to the final destinations, homes, or whatever, meeting points in United States.
Gotcha.
So at that time, I was like, okay, I have to try. I don't have any solution. I stayed without job. Everything was just, standing on side. And I said, okay, I have to try. I went to the embassy. I got my visa. Everything was okay. Now the second part is like, what I'm going to do. I don't know the rules. You're not unable to read everything. And I said, okay, I have to try. My first try was with a German Shepherd. And I had a friend that, was a cargo agent. They mixed up the dogs in Frankfurt. So he sent a Doberman that was supposed to go from Frankfurt to, I think, Berlin, like, let us say, black male Doberman.
Mhm.
And instead of that, they sent the brown female. And the black male Doberman went to Los Angeles. They mixed it up. So,
Okay.
of course, the owners received the wrong dogs. And he said, then you have to go. Can you go? I'm going to pay you all the expenses and everything. Just you have to go to switch them up. I said, okay, this is my chance to see how everything goes inside of the airport. So I get one dog and then I'm traveling. It's going to be my personal dog. And let me see how everything goes. In the meantime, I found that another friend have a German Shepherd that needs to go to Los Angeles. It's really hard to find at that time 2 dogs that they have to go to the same airport at the same time. That's not easy,
Yeah.
especially because I'm new in everything. This is a new market. I have only Egyptians as the clients on my Facebook, and I have Serbian breeders. So I said, okay, I have to try. I went to Los Angeles. I showed them the passport. I showed them everything, all the documents which I had, health certificates. At that time, there was no formal entries when you come. There was no customs inside of the US. Everybody was like, okay, you're coming with the dogs. Let me see the shots. Let me see everything. And that's good. So the
Mhm.
first time everything went good. And I said, okay, I have to try. This is my way in. So when I came back, I was exploring and I was, trying to see on Facebook what this guy have and does he want to go and meet. The only person that I saw that he's making an advertising, on Facebook, like he's a transporter. So I
Mhm.
said to myself, okay, I'm going to call him and I'm going to meet him. So I'm going to ask him, does he wants to have any connections? Does he want to help me? Does he need my help? Because he's a breeder. He don't have a lot of dogs, mostly his dogs and mostly what he find. And I'm the transporter. I already have a reputation. I already have some dogs in Egyptian market, on my back. I have really good reputation. So maybe he want to share, spots. If he cannot find a dog that on the spot that he's traveling, like for example, Atlanta, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe I can get him one dog and then we share the profit and whatever. So I went
Right.
to meet this guy. His name is Goran Karanovic. He's Airedale Terrier, and I met him and we shared some informations. He helped me out. He continued to work animal transport business for some time. Then he just stopped. But we had businesses together, and I'm so happy and grateful that he helped me out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2016. I think,
Okay.
yeah, 2016. I got my visa December, so 2017 I starting on my own. Uh, when I decided to make posts about animal transport to the United States, a lot of people in touch with me. A lot of people become like, okay, this is really nice. At that time, I was not able to go and drive that much, because I was still new in animal transport, in trafficking in the United States. I was like, in the beginning, I was afraid to drive that much. So they was coming on the airport. One client come to the airport. I drop him the dog, and other is like 4 or 5 hours drive. That's not much. There for a couple of days, then I go back. A lot of requests, a lot of dogs I had. Nobody besides that Goran that I know was transporting dogs. So I had my schedule was full for like let us say 1 month, 1 month and a half, and traveling from Europe to US with this, you cannot go more than 3 to 4 times. That's maximum. Changing the time
Right.
zones and everything.
Boy.
It is killing you, brother. It is killing you. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, because
So like
they have to understand. They need to understand this that you coming over on the plane and you also delivering the dogs to homes in the USA. You driving
exactly,
all across the USA.
exactly,
He ain't no
exactly,
stranger
brother.
to me.
So
He's brought me 5 dogs so far. You've brought me 5 dogs, so I know
oh
how to.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So at 2017 2018 it was like really really crazy. I didn't know how many dogs I transported, how many flights I had to United States, how many miles I crossed all the states except Hawaii and Alaska here. It was really crazy at that time. You also have to know the really nice fact that Serbia and Serbian breeders are really good in many dog breeds. For
They
example,
are.
the best Rottweilers are coming from Serbia for more than like 7 8 years. You know the popular standard. I cannot say the best one. Of course, the best one are in Germany, but really popular one. So and
Right.
same goes with the Dobermans. European Dobermans, Serbian Dobermans, really big dog, huge dog, big heads, you know. And besides them, there's more than 15 world FCIA breeds, world champions that are coming from Serbia. So our dogs are really popular and Serbian breeders are really popular. But again, because of the visa status and everything, the documents, Serbians are not, not so easy to travel in the United States. And I was like, okay, I don't have what to lose. I applied for the visa. I got my visa. I started to learning about documents, the certificates and everything. And then, I just jumped in when it was the time. So 2017, 2018, I had a lot of business, a lot. I was like really occupied and I just started to do the things what I did with Egypt. I called a few friends when I was like, okay, I'm exhausting. I'm killing myself. I gained over 22 kilos. It was not healthy. It was just burgers, from
Getting
gas
fat.
station to another gas station. You
Mm-hmm.
cross like, brother, I wake up at 4 a.m. in Serbia, let it say, and then I'm going to Belgrade Airport. From Belgrade Airport, like 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm just flying to, let it say, Istanbul. From Istanbul to Los Angeles, I have 14 hours. And then after I finish everything with the documents, customs, vet, doctors, and everything in Los Angeles, I drive like 10 hours. After
Yeah.
that 10 hours, I go to sleep. I wake up, I drive another 10 hours. I go to sleep, I drive another 10 hours. Then I go back to sleep. I wake up, I fly back to Istanbul, from Istanbul to Belgrade, and I go to sleep. I spend 2-3 days maximum in Serbia, and then I do the same because
Wow.
it's not easy to come and have like the US. It's a big continent. It's impossible to find on one flight clients from one state because we don't fly for just one dog. One dog covers you the ticket, another dog covers you the part of the expenses which you have broker, the customs, the crate transport, food, car rentals, cell phones, whatever you have, all the
Mhm.
expenses, and half of the third dog covers you, your salary, your profit, and that's it. So
Let me
it
let me
is
ask you something, John. Where do y'all get off at? Do you get off on the East Coast or the West Coast, or sometimes both?
both, but much more dogs on the East Coast than on the West Coast.
Okay, got you.
Much, much, much easy. When you compare, it's like 70-30% of the, transiting is East Coast, West Coast.
Okay, okay, got you. Then y'all just kind of disperse
So,
from there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was like really exhausted. Happy that I'm getting a lot of clients. I just changed my policy. I just starting adding the breeders from United States and adding the Serbian breeders again. It was completely new people for me. It was a relief dealing with the people in United States. Everything was civilized. Everything was okay. At that time, everybody was respecting the deals. Everything was okay. With Egyptians, when on the way back end, it was catastrophic, brother. Everybody was owning the money, late payments, not paying, some excuses, and I was like, I was sick of everything. So
Right.
everything came as a relief. I was really happy that I have good job, safe job, stable job. I got a client, but I have to upgrade. Right now, I'm not able to fly anymore. 3 to 4 flights. I have a lot of requested, a lot of dogs are waiting. The biggest problem is when you accept, like, for example, you have a client that has a pregnant female, he do the ultrasound with 24 days, and then you don't have any more dogs to that specific part of the US. So at that time, you have to respect the agreement which you made with the client. Dog
Mhm.
cannot stay. He paid for the shipping. You cannot say, okay, I didn't find other dogs. I didn't find the flight or what happened. Even if you go and you put money out of your pocket, but that dog has to go
That's
and
it.
be delivered in the United States. This is the
Mhm.
price of of the agreement and everything. And at that time, it's really hard. If you don't find another dog, or if you find another dog that is really far away, you have to go. Okay, you're not going to lose a lot of money. You're not going to lose the client. You're not going to lose the trust. But okay, buy the ticket and, for example, drive from Atlanta to Colorado. You have to go. One dog is in Colorado, another dog is in Atlanta. Just find what is priority. You have the priority that's like pregnant dog. He's in Atlanta. Go and land in Atlanta. Drop him off, walk him, and then drive to Colorado. Of course, stops, waiting, walking the dogs, everything documented, everything, just for that another dog that you have to go that is going to Colorado, so he can feel nice and during the trip and everything, and he come in a good condition. Of course, you don't leave them in crates and so and so. So
Right.
I had to
Right.
make to make next level with my business. And of course, I had workers before, I had friends before, but for them to get the visa in the United States was not so easy. You have to have stable job, you have to have, substantial salaries, you have to have like an apartment under your name. It was not easy to get, my younger friends to help me out and to get a visa. I had my workers that have been working with me, in Egyptian market, but they've been really young. So one of them got the visa, and I got the older breeder that have visa from before. So my team was right now on the like 3 persons. And
Mhm.
that's 2018, 19. And everything was okay. I was flying; they were been flying too. The business was good. We're still covering up all the all the businesses that we have, all the requests. Of course, there's always situations, like delays and stuff, but we struggle with everything. I made a really good reputation, and everybody knows me right now. and my
Yep.
company, of course. So uh, and that was until 2019, 2020. My girlfriend starting to have, started being pregnant. And I was like building a new home, building a new, completely new house. Everything was nice. And then COVID happened. COVID was like
Wow.
the
Yeah.
first thing that was everybody stopped. The whole world of transporting dogs stopped, including the USA and everything. I remember I was at a kennel having a litter on my own. In the meantime, I started to breed American exotic bullies. I got them from US, of course. So I was next to my puppies and next to my female. I was watching it, Mr. President Trump, that is saying, okay, we are announcing the travel ban between
Yeah.
Europe, European Union, and between USA. At
Yeah.
that time, my phone is starting to ring like crazy because I had deposits from the clients that was buying dogs. I had the clients who was getting, and paid a lot of dogs in Serbia and a lot of dogs in Europe. And everybody was, hey, Dan, what is going on? Are you going to still be able to get me dogs? And I said, of course, let's see what's happening. At that time, I had like 10 tickets, paid to the airlines,
Hmm.
at the point.
Right.
So I said, okay, let's see what's going to happen. What's going on. Days was passing, nothing going to happen. No one was traveling. The virus was spreading fast. Everything lockdowns. And I was like, man, my wife is pregnant. Baby's on the way. What I'm going to do? I'm without any job. My house is not finished. I didn't make the bathroom in my house. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's like, it's horrible. So clients was asking about what we're gonna do with the deposits. I got an emails from the airlines that we're gonna one day we're gonna have those tickets. They're unable to give us the reimbursements, unable to give us the money back, but we're gonna
Dang.
be able at one time to use the money which we got and the tickets that we got. So I was like, I was shaking. I was out of myself. I don't know what to do. The baby is coming and everything is coming, and then it happened like, listen carefully right now. So the president declared a traveling ban for American citizens and for citizens that are traveling to European Union. Serbia is not a part of European Union, and
No.
Turkey is not a part of European Union.
Yeah. Y'all
So
kind
the
of
Turkish
landlocked in
airline,
between. Yeah.
yeah, so the
Yeah.
Turkish airline was the only airline for 2 3 years that was flying to the United States during the COVID. So we just had to try. I got a connection in the Belgrade airport that told me like, okay, just try to get in touch with the Turkish airline and see are they flying. We realized that they are flying, and I had to make a shot. I said, okay, I'm going. When I landed to Houston airport, that was the first flight during the COVID. I was with the German Shepherd. Everything was, it'd been only 5 or 6 passengers on the airport. Everything was empty, and me with the dogs. I came, I dropped them off. Everything was good, and I made the announcement, the major announcement that I am able to get the dogs in United States during the COVID.
Yeah.
My phone was on fire. They've been thousands of listen, there have been thousands of dogs that already been purchased in Europe, and there have been thousand dogs that gonna be purchased, the puppies and everything. So in COVID, from 2 workers, I made a company with 22 workers.
Wow.
So 20 COVID
Yeah.
actually made me a
Yeah.
huge company,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
huge company.
I can
People
imagine.
starting Brother, people coming from all Europe to Serbia to get me the dogs, and I
Mhm.
taking their dogs from Netherlands, from Germany, from Poland, from Hungary, from Croatia, from
Mhm.
anywhere in Europe, taking those dogs to the United States. and I'm going back. It was crazy, brother. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes people came to the airport and I said, okay, who is this dog? Who is these guys? I don't know anything. And that
Mhm.
time I learned how to be CEO. I said, okay, now I have a lot of workers. I got like 5, 6 cars. I got few cars in Serbia. I had to take the office because before I was working everything from my phone, chatting with the clients. I was able to finish everything from the restaurants. I was really young and I don't have any skills in like, managing or something. But
Mhm.
at the COVID time, I learned everything. I said, okay, now we have to have the office. And I said, okay, now we have office. What do we have to do right now? Like we are the bosses and
Mhm.
everything. Said now
Yeah.
do the logistics and everything. So in a COVID, brother, we made our company really big. And thanks to that, to that situation, I made myself and I made the big name right now in the United
Well,
States. At the point right now,
Dejan, one man disaster is another man's bonanza. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly,
It is kind
exactly,
of that same thing happened to me during COVID. Being in the business zone, we exploded. So yeah, I truly
yeah.
understand. People were buying dogs; they was
Everybody,
at home. You know what I mean?
exactly. Everybody was at home. A lot of
Mhm.
people get the help from the state, like which is more than the salary that they have. So it was crazy, brother. I was like, for example, had a client in Texas. Texas was in lockdown. I was driving all the way like from Alabama, Louisiana. Everything was
Mhm.
locked down. You're stopping at the gas station. Everybody like afraid. Nobody want to shake. Everything go and do the cleaning and whatever, and then you cross the border with Florida, and on Florida everything is crazy. Everybody party. There's no lockdowns.
Yeah,
There's
it
no
just stopped.
nothing. And same happens with Nevada and with Florida. These two
Mhm.
states been like it's like you're coming. The state border between Florida and between Georgia. It's like you're crossing here. People afraid locking masks, everything, and then here everybody like everything is normal, partying and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's true. Nobody
Yeah.
knows like, okay, we're in lockdowns, let's get a dog.
Mhm.
And of
Right.
course, dogs from Serbia, good quality, much cheaper than anywhere in United States,
Let
even
me ask
after
let
you
me ask
pay.
you something on that, Dejan. Let's go back to Serbia because I've shipped. You brought me several dogs from Serbia from breeders like Miss Lazic,
Yeah, I know. Of
and
course.
then Polina Simic. You
Yeah,
brought me dogs
I
from her
know.
too. So
Caucasian.
so
Yeah.
Serbia has a very good reputation. Is that because y'all have a breed warden? Why is Serbia such a hotbed for selling dogs?
And you know what's the key? The Serbians are really dedicated breeders. Like we are good
Mm.
sportsmen, we are good, competing. They're good with the breeding dogs. They have the kennels inside of their homes. And the thing is because the standard in Serbia, like they realize that getting and breeding the dogs and selling the dogs and competing the dogs, it's really good paid comparing the standards in Serbia. Like for example, even right now you have dogs that've been selling for like 1,000, 2,000, and right now like the basic salary is like 700, 800 US dollars, and for selling one good quality puppy of let's say Rottweiler, 1,500, 1,000, even 2,000 US dollars. So this is the key, I think. Of course, beside dedications and everything, that you have a good and well paid for the work that you're actually doing breeding.
Mm, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. So COVID hit and you just went crazy and you've been
Yeah,
pretty
everything went.
steady since then.
So at that time, we was able to transport a lot of dogs. I mean, that thing changed when COVID stopped. It was like, okay, right now it's economic crisis. COVID stopped. Here it was changing of the president, and then economic crisis. People stopped
Yeah.
buying that huge numbers of dogs, but it's still, it's still really really good. It's still okay. And like for example, at the COVID time, if you were involved like in market and whatever, so that franchise become really popular. Frenchies, bullies
Right.
also as well.
Right.
But most of the airlines at that time allows us to get the Frenchies inside of the crate. Right now, that's not an option. You can have the Frenchie, but you have to take him upside, with him in cabin, and that's like 8 kilos maximum that can be his weight. So before
Mm.
you was allowed to bring during the COVID or after COVID, you've been allowed to get like 3 Frenchie in one crate and then 3 Frenchie in another crate. But sooner or later, Frenchies become forbidden breed because of sub nose, because of problems, dying in airplanes, and the airlines didn't want to take responsibility. Same goes with the bullies. So
Yeah.
Frenchies been
The
overpopulated.
breathing.
In the
Yeah. The
meantime,
breathing.
yeah, of course. And in
Yeah.
between the time they've been overpopulated, they had a problem with transporting. And right now I have only few Frenchies that goes from Europe a month. And before it was like 40, 50 Frenchies a month.
Oh
It
wow.
was really the big number. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We don't need them over here. We got tons of them over here now.
Yeah, I know. A lot of
Yeah.
dogs. So the next problem which happened, I mean, we established the company, thank God, everything is okay. I registered in the meantime. I registered my company in the US, in Dallas. So I got my working visas and everything. I live in Dallas and I live in Serbia right now in 2 ways.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, the next problem which happened, it happened, of course, about the US government rule about 6-month-old dogs
Yeah.
right now, that
6 month old
happened
dog.
like
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. and,
Yeah.
and I think when war happened, this all started, brother, when war happened in Ukraine. At
Ukraine.
that
Yeah.
time, yeah, Russians and most of the states which are in not good political, relations with the US, been put it on that, how you call it, that rabies high risk countries.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, and during the COVID, before all this war in Ukraine and stuff, I was able to fly with the Russian Airflot, which is national Russian airline, with 4 crates. That was good for me. They had a few destinations in US, but more than any airline, the 2 was maximum with all airlines. Sometimes you can take 3 with some airline, which is when they have a space on board. But four was like the point. When you have 4, mostly like for the West Coast, everything was good. Profit was on top, so everything was good. And then suddenly they just made a list of countries with the higher rabies risk. And of course, this happened to affect our business a lot. Right now, you are unable to get the dogs from some countries in Europe. But thank God, of course, Serbia is not on the list. Serbia is fine, of course. And the second problem, which happened last year, it happened with with the new rule from the USDA, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
They
Let me
made
ask
the,
you
yeah. I don't know. Sure.
this. So how has that affected your business? Being that the dogs have to be 6 months now, did it kind of give you a
Yeah,
punt
it,
a little
it
bit? Yeah.
it affected the law that they made with the 6 month. It affected, because that particular law crossed with the law that you have with an airline. 99% of the airline have the strict rule about more dogs in one crate. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, let us say example, the Turkish airline, they have rule. You can put up, before the new law, you can put up to 3 animals which are less than 6 months of age. This is
Mm-hmm.
an airline rule, not speaking about a rule in the US. Or you can put 2 adult dogs comparable size, which are not more than 14 kilos each. When the US made a new rule that dogs has to be 6 months old, this crossed with the law with an airline. So before, I was able with one worker to send 6 puppies because they've been 4 months, 4 months, good size, everything. They can fit, they can stand up, they can do whatever they want, they can play football in the school on size 7, and you can send up to 6 dogs. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, you are able to send only 4. And
Mm,
all the expenses that you have, airplane tickets, everything, from 6 dogs, now you have for 4 dogs.
$4.
So it
Okay.
happened a lot because you have the clients in the United States that buying the product, they're buying a dog from Serbia, get into the US, do the documents, the customs and everything, and then they sell them in the United States. Some of the dogs they're leaving for their own breeding, and some selling and making a profit on top. So, of course, the price is not the same for shipping. If you have one, two, three, four, five, 6 dogs, of course, more dogs, it goes, a better discount. But the thing is, right now, you're unable to send 6 dogs at the time. I can
Right.
send like few workers. I can send 3 workers with 6 crates right now, but it has to be 2 dogs inside. Before, I remember I was getting 3 workers with a lot of numbers. That's with like 18 puppies at the one time. And they're landing in airport, they're taking few cars and they're going, like, for example, one is landing in Atlanta, he's going to Washington and New York, another is landing in Atlanta, goes to Arkansas and going to Kentucky, and another is going to Florida. So one flight, 3 workers, 18 dogs, and going to drop them off. So
Mm,
it affects us, of course, and this is the shipping side. It affects the side of the breeders who was breeding dogs. Of course, nobody's gonna keep the dog at the 6 month. Imagining yourself, you have like the litter which you wanna sell in United States, and United States is the number one market in the world right now, of course. But who is gonna keep a dog or like few dogs or like the whole litter, which has to be 6 months to sell them in the United States. And after they get it, everybody wants to have a family dog. Most of the people want to have a family dog, for
yeah.
the family, for the kids and everything. Who's
They
going to
want to
buy a
raise that
Rottweiler?
dog. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants a puppy, which is three and a half,
Mm-hmm.
4 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 months, of course, it affected a lot of people. Of course, that dog at 6 months has to be socialized. He has to have basic training, whatever. You cannot just leave him in a kennel for like, everything like for 6 months. It dedicating, the time. It has to, with the food, extra food, everything extra. So it affected like 30% of the whole business that we had right now. It affected, but not much.
Right. Let me ask you this: down through the years, have you ever had to handle like vicious dogs or anything like that? Or what's your policy on that?
Which kind of dogs?
Dogs that might be aggressive.
Yeah, bro. When dog is aggressive, you cannot do anything much. The biggest
Yeah.
problem is when you have aggressive dog that is not trustable and he don't want to go out of the crate. I mean,
Right.
if you try to get him with the ball, if you just try to get him the food, try to get the closer with him. As I told you in previous example, by now you just don't go with one dog to the United States. You go with a few dogs. One
Right.
dog is usually, dropping off in Atlanta, another in North Carolina, and another is in, like, let's say, New York. That is like at least 2 days of traveling, including the flight. If you have
Right.
the last dog that is aggressive, I had a dogs that are really good with an owners, and he's standing with me, he's standing beside me, beside my workers, and he's super friendly. But when he take the collar and when he puts in the crate, we go to another country, we go to Austria, for example, and you have to take him out so they can inspect the crate. He's not coming out. He's aggressive. He's crazy. You do the ball, you try, just try to get him out. And in that particular cases, that's a problem.
Right.
Sometimes they even offloaded us from the aircraft and they didn't let us check in when you have aggressive dog. The biggest problem is when dog comes, he has to go and pee, he has to go, and do the stuff outside, and he's traveling with you for 2 days. And then you're trying just to get connect with him. Of course, in that particular situation, you go, of course, and call the owner and say, hey, I had a problem. I'm not able to take him out. You're not going to be able. Sometimes people shocked when dog come because he's, of course, aggressive to them. We cannot
Mhm.
take the dog outside of the crate and we put him in a kennel, open food, water, whatever. Try nicely. Sometimes some dogs needs, sharp attention. So It's like we had a lot of situation, brother. That's
Yeah.
that's solvable. But the biggest and the key in everything is document everything and let
Mhm.
everybody know what is going on. You have to be
That's
straight.
right.
You don't have There's no waiting. There's no like, oh, I'm gonna tell him in United States that we had a problem that we're not able to take the dog.
Right.
Policy of my company and policy what I have with my workers. Okay, everything what's going on, everything has to import the office. Office has to know everything. If he pooped, if he peed, if he feels strange, if he have any problems, if he have like blood in the poop, if he ate something, didn't he refuse the food, whatever. So whatever is happening, just we have a group, we have a platform that we chat, and then we are just sharing informations. It is of course not easy to have right now at like that. We're like 15, we're the team of the 15 people right now. We have, really big company. I can say we are probably the largest nanny company that is transporting dogs from Europe to United States.
Right.
100%, we're the largest nanny company. We are not individuals, we're not the guys who are like taking the puppies and say, I'm transporting in animals. We're professionals, we try
Yeah.
to do the things, the business straight. I'm not the guy who's gonna say, I like to travel, so because of that, I started my business. No, I
Right.
started my business because I had to, and I'm trying to be the most professional guy in this business, and I'm the
Yeah.
one. So,
That's right. That's something you're good at. You
yeah,
do you
you
give people
know, bro.
updates. I'm right here. Here's a dog, and he's doing good. Blah blah. Because that's one of the most nerve wracking things if you never done it before. First off, it's sending large amounts of money overseas, right? Then
Yeah,
find a
without knowing
transporter.
anything again.
it's, it's a nerve wracking process, but once you've done it and you can find people you can trust, like Dejan, I know he gonna get it to me, no problem. You know what I
And
mean?
that's the
So
thing that this is the key. As we had a situation when people are dealing in the between for the first time, and they say, okay, Dan, you're my guy there, just go and see the dog if everything is okay. This is the first time I'm dealing with the breeder, and then I give the red light or the green light that they can do the transfer. I'm the guy, I'm their own eyes back there in Serbia. But I'm same here goes with the Serbians for the clients in US. Okay, this guy is okay. Sometimes people are saying, there's a lot of money in the game, so can we do, guarantee like this is the good breeder? So that's the key, brother.
yeah. Now you got a new business you started that
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked to hear about. It's a very intelligent thing to do. So you gotta well, I'll let you explain it.
So the thing is that, as we spoke previously, Serbian dogs are really good quality, and I saw by the posting of my dogs that I have two several accounts. One was dedicated with the dog breeding, and one is
Mhm.
dedicated to animal transporting. So I got two accounts on Facebook actually, and on Instagram, and I saw that there is no website in Serbia and in Balkan that is made for foreign clients that they can see actually dogs that are for sale. I'm not the guy who's gonna say who's gonna resell the dogs, who's gonna say call the breeder and say, okay, this is I got a client from US, he's searching for a good German Shepherd. Can you show me what you have in offer? And I'm gonna put my profit on top and I'm gonna resell it to a client because
Right.
I saw many times in my in my business that people slipped on this kind of things, like breeders
Mhm.
saying everything is okay with the dog. My colleague partner, he's a transporter. He tried to resell a dog. Dog came to a client in the US, which is really good, good client to him. And then they realized the dog had a problem. The breeder didn't tell the transporter resold the dog, and then he lost client. He lost the client in shipping. He lost the trust, even if this was not his fault and everything. But everybody pointed the finger when there's a problem. And I said, to myself, I'm not gonna resell the dog. I'm gonna make something which I'm not involving. I'm not, I'm just the guy who made the website and everything. And we have the verified breeders back there. So most of the people that we have are, the dog breeders. they're making the post about actually available dogs that I have from Serbia and from the Balkan countries. This is going to help them out. They have available dogs on one place and they have the transporting on the same place. So if they purchase the dog, we're going to be able to get them, and this is something what we started like a few months ago, and I'm pretty satisfied how everything goes. Besides that project, I saw also that actually Facebook is not allowing any selling and any trading of animals.
Oh yeah.
So when you post like available, you just made one letter different, and they not gonna shut you the post, or that everybody looking for new home, available dogs. Even that, how AI is becoming more popular and becoming more affected on every aspect of our life.
True.
AI is reading everything. It's shutting down everything. Sooner or later, the Facebook is not going to be the platform where you will be able to get dogs. You know
Yeah.
your breeder. There's no more Facebook groups that you can see dogs available. Everybody's shutting down. Everybody's saying no advertising, no selling, no nothing. On many Instagram pages, you have nothing for sale. Nobody's selling. So the websites actually, and these websites like the kennels and the websites for advertising is going to be the only place where you will be able to get a dogs.
That's
So
right.
this is the newest project that I started. And besides that, I'm planning ending of this summer to get an animal transport company in the United States.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
gonna make That's going to be the ground shipping. That's going to be something what we are going to offer to our clients. I'm going to move with my family. Actually, the whole family is going to pass here, and I'm going to start driving with a friend of mine. So we're going to probably have two vans that are fully equipped with crates, with everything like in Europe, and we're going to be able to offer ground shipping in the United States. So besides that, I'm going to be able to wait for my workers on the airports to get the dogs which they are getting with them. They're going to be able to go back sooner. I'm going to take few of those dogs or all the dogs that came here, and I'm going to just put them and drive them to final destinations. Plus, I'm going to be able to add more dogs on the ground shipping in United States from several clients. We're doing really good marketing research. I got a company from Serbia that is doing SEO on my websites. We're doing WhatsApp, we're doing email, we're doing everything. There's a lot of requests for the ground shipping, and of course, my reputation here is like crystal clear, so it's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna it's gonna give us a lot of business. Another thing what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add offer to a cargo agents from whole world and Europe, of course, that I'm gonna be the one who's gonna be able, because I told you the difference between cargo shipping and the between of nanny shipping. During the
Mhm.
COVID and everything, cargo prices went really up, and then nanny shipping became a number one. Cargo became a fast, because it was. I had an offer, like for example, at that time was like 1,800 euros for adult dog to get them shipped to Kentucky, let us say. I come to home of my client and bring dog from Serbia or Europe. And if he wants to get a dog, he have to go to take day off, to go to Atlanta airport, to pay the cargo fees, to pay customs, to pay broker. So one day that he didn't go, because you cannot control the time when cargo airplane or cargo is gonna come. He come at 8 p.m. He has to go there. If the dogs stay a few hours more, he's gonna pay more fees. The keeping of dogs and everything. And the price for cargo shipping was like 2,000 euros. So for 200 less, you get the dog at your home. You don't have to do anything. There's just some guys who knock on your door and come and bring the dog.
That's
And
right.
everybody moved from cargo shipments to nanny animal transport.
Yeah.
So whole this time from COVID to right now, cargo transporters, cargo agents don't have possibility to get the dog to clients who don't live close to international and intercontinental airports. Of course, there's a states like Texas, Georgia, Virginia, New York, California. They have major big airports where you can send direct flights, direct cargo from Belgrade, Budapest, Prague, Frankfurt, of course, and from Amsterdam. They go to these states. But when it comes to connection flights inside of the US, if you're waiting dog in, let us say again, Kentucky, the dog is going to stay for a while on airport until he have the connection. So my point is, I want to make an offer to a cargo clients, to a cargo agents that hold the shipments that they have. I'm going to be the one who can pick them up. And for the fees of picking them up and driving them, the client's going to get the dog faster and cheaper than to sending them inside of the US with an air trafficking. So I'm going to connect the ground shipping. I'm going to connect the dogs which I have from cargo agents and dogs which I have from my workers, combine them into several shipments and see the schedule, do the logistics and everything, and get them transported. This is how I'm going to get good prices for everybody.
Oh, great. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, my man. Well, I appreciate you coming and everything. And like I said, everybody, this ain't no guy just out the blue that I had on the show. I've used him many times. And I'm one of those breeders. I don't have the time to be doing all this stuff myself. It's more convenient for me to get the dog shipped and brought right to my home, like some other breeders I know. But Dejan, I'd like to thank you for coming on and sharing your business.
Thank you.
You one of the guys a lot of people don't talk about. So
yeah,
but you are one of the
thanks to you.
heartbeats.
They're going to find out right now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me in your podcast.
Yeah.
And
Right.
take care, brother.
Wait, let me ask you one more thing. Tell the people how
Sure.
to contact you.
We have our website. The website is petexporters.com. There on the website, they can find out everything. They can email us. They can send us messages to WhatsApp, Viber, even through the Facebook account, Dan Samardzic, we can post it down on your podcast and they can just go and click on the link. We're going to leave the links under.
All right, we'll do that. Okay, John.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Of course, take care. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
And that wraps up another episode of NWA Conning Corsos. Thank you for being a part of our Conning Corso community. Remember, you can stay connected with us beyond the podcast. Find us on all major media platforms by searching for NWA Conning Corsos. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Just hit that follow button to join the conversation and get the latest updates. If you have a burning question or want to apply to be a guest on our show, we'd love to hear from you. Simply shoot us an email at nwaconningcorsos@gmail.com. And if you're a business interested in becoming a sponsor, reach out to us at the same email address. For more resources, exclusive content, and links to all our social media profiles, visit our website at nwaconningcorsos.com. It's your go-to destination for everything dogs. Thank you once again for tuning in, and we can't wait to bring you more exciting episodes where we explore the fascinating world of dogs.